I can already see that I'm a ruler in this kingdom. I think if I can control how they feel, I can control how they think. If I can whoop these all-stars, doesn't that mean I'm the best ever?
I'm Russell Hantz, and this is the Russell Hantz Show. Bitter survivors. It is the question that constantly boggles my mind. The bitter jury. It's the thing that you watch and you're like, you need to do the right thing. You need to go in there, whoever plays the best, that's who you need to vote for. Now, it's not always like that. And I have a few examples for season 40 of Survivor, Winners at War. And then who else is there better to talk about bitter juries than Russell Hantz? And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I feel about it and where I think it belongs in the game of Survivor. Now, we've had 4 people on Winners at War that did not vote for Tony. Now, it's interesting because I agree with some of them, and then some I don't agree with. And that's where it becomes a little hazy. We just seen one of the greatest performances, arguably one of the greatest performances in the history of the game by Tony. 4 of the people out there did not vote for Tony. Now, let's break that down. And why didn't they vote for Tony? You have people like Tyson that didn't vote for Tony. He voted for Natalie. This is where the social aspect gets involved in the game. And it's interesting that old school and new school, when it comes to the social play, is changing. Now, you have Tyson voted for Natalie, right? Okay. Why? Because we seen the generosity of Natalie at EOE. We seen, I'm assuming she's trying to curry votes, at the same time be a great human being by giving Tyson peanut butter and by giving him an idol, which is a crazy move. But she's thinking, well, I'm not going to go against him anyway, because if I lose to him and we're back in the game, I won't be having to worry about his idol. So it gives her a vote, and that's exactly what it does. Now, you have people like Jeremy that did not vote for Tony. Okay, why? Jeremy got to see Tony's entire gameplay. He knew it was flawless. And he votes for his friend instead. To me, that was a bitter vote. So one of them was bitter and one of them was not. And at EOE, I'm reading a lot of stuff that went down over there. And Natalie actually separating herself from a lot of people and having arguments and having fights at EOE with a lot of people that was there. So to me, it's like, what? Why? Why would you do that? Some people she handed peanut butter to, working that social game, and other people she completely separated herself from. I heard or I read that her, Danny, and Amber were super close. Then all of a sudden, when everybody else gets there, she separates herself. And that's when we hear Rob say what he said. There's a fine line between the two as well. Because here we go with Rob saying she separated herself. I do not agree with this part of the game where we used to hear people, you didn't get to know me. You didn't get to know who I am. You didn't get to know the middle name of my dog. What's the middle name of my dog? What's my family's name? What's my second oldest child's name? That's literally how the old school players used to play. They wanted us to get to know who they were before they made their decision, who they're going to vote for $1 million. If you don't know who I am, if you can't answer this question, then it's a dumb question. It does not belong in the game of Survivor. Bitterness is there in Survivor because of weak-minded people, because of weak individuals. You cannot do the what you need to do and vote for the person that played the game the best. So what you do is you're like, oh, they didn't get to know who I was, so I'm not voting for them. They don't even know my sister's name, so I'm not going to vote for them. No matter how they played in the game, no matter how much they dominated in the game, it all falls down to that, the social aspect. Back in the day, the social aspect 75% of the game. Didn't matter what you did. Didn't matter how you played it or how much you dominated. That's a fact. Now it's changing. Now things are changing and people are starting to give credit where credit is due. And I like that. I'm excited to see that. You know, there's aspects in the game. I used to say, outlast, outwit, outplay, right? Okay. You outlast them, you outwit them, and you outplay them. Where's out-socialize them? It's not there. And it's not there for a reason, because the founding fathers of Survivor, yes, they knew it was going to be a social experiment, but they didn't know that people would take the social aspect and run with it and only vote because of that. I laid it down when I played. And it's like, okay, I played better than you. I did this. I found idols, clues. I'm the reason you're sitting there because I worked it. All of y'all were coming after me. But none of that mattered because I didn't get to know their children. It was an aspect in the game. I think it's changing. That used to be it. It was like a big social experiment, and that's all it was. It was a popularity contest back in the day. That's what it was. And now it's becoming to where people actually do what they're supposed to do, no matter how much it hurts. That's the interesting thing. Like, somebody stabs you in the back, and you're able to vote for that person because they did the best in the game. That's a strong individual. That's going to be somebody in life. People that cannot get past someone talking bad about them or somebody saying things about them in real life, they need to be able to get past that. It's not an easy life. You're going to have people talk about you. You're going to have that type of things happen in life. You can't shut down. And that's the type of people that have those bitter votes. I'm sure some of your favorite survivors didn't win the game because of bitterness. Tony's season is very interesting because we see both sides. We see people voting for someone because they got to know them, Tyson. Then we see people not voting for Tony because they don't like him straight up. And we know it. We know that the reason Jeremy didn't vote for Tony is because he just don't like him, period. And they're friends. Natalie's friends. And none of that should be involved in the game, and it is, and it sucks. I think it should be a pure game. I understand that social aspects involved in the game, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but it shouldn't be that deep. It shouldn't be that important where all of a sudden it's 75% of the game is social. And then that's why I'm not going to vote for you because you didn't get to know me as a person, or you didn't get to know what my husband's name was, or my wife's name, or my wife's sister's name. You don't know who they are, so I'm not going to vote for you. It's an easy way out. That's all it is. It's an easy way to be like, you know what? You're right. What makes her less deserving? What makes her less deserving? She was here for 39 days too. What makes her less deserving is that she did nothing. And she was nice to you. And she's pretty. Maybe that's the reason we should vote for her? Oh, okay. That's an easy way out. I don't have to worry about it. People need to be held accountable. When you vote bitterly, you guys on Twitter need to jump on their backs. You guys on Instagram and social media, I'm not saying bully anybody, but I'm like, can you please explain your vote? Why didn't you vote for Tony? Tyson has a good reason. I don't think Jeremy has that good of a reason. So, you know, that's all I want to say about it. And I just think that I want to hold the people accountable for not voting the way they should vote. And we're not really doing that. We're praising sometimes the people that vote for people that don't deserve the win. We say, oh, all of a sudden it clicked in your head, oh, maybe they did deserve to win. Because it's shoved in your face constantly with interviews and this and that, and then all of a sudden you think they did deserve to win when they didn't, because you've seen it, and at one point you were like, there's no way that person's going to win the game, and there's no way this person's going to lose the game, and all of a sudden you see this person losing the game. That's why nobody was really sure if Tony was going to win or not. The reason being is because Natalie was at EOE with all these people for so many days, so she had the opportunity to play her social game. And I'm reading she didn't. So that's on her. But what if she did? What if she would have went around being nice to everybody, finding everybody's, making sure she knows everybody's pets' names? Does that make her a deserving winner? She did a great job. The final 3 were great. But none of them could have beat Tony, and none of them should have beat Tony under any circumstances. And so, Rob, what if she would have did that? What if she wouldn't have separated herself from the game? Are you saying you would have voted for her instead of Tony? Yes, that's what he's saying. So the reason she didn't get a lot of votes at EOE is because of her social game. If you think Natalie should have won the game, that's why. Tony, he had a social game, obviously, because nobody voted for him. So, guys, we could talk about this all day long, and it hurts my brain when I try to explain it and discuss it, but I wanted to come on here and talk about it for a little while. You see that? My son was trying to chop down that tree with a machete. Yes. A machete. I'm like, what are you doing, son? And they have a building right here on the side of it, one of my storage buildings. I was like, that building's going to fall on the storage, but you know that. I mean, it's going to knock the corner of it off. He's like, well, I'm just trying to get it out the way. For some reason, he wanted to chop down a tree with a machete. It's my son. And he's building like a little fort and camp out in the woods, which is fun, interesting. I'm going to do some podcasts and some YouTube videos in there. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm sorry if I'm rambling on about this, but you get my point. If you haven't subscribed yet, we almost have 30,000, right? We do have 29,000 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate it. If you want to see when these videos drop, you never know when they're going to drop now because Survivor is over, but my YouTube channel is going to keep giving you entertainment. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when these things drop. We have Libby Mondays coming up. That's going to be every Monday. We're not going to talk Survivor. We're just going to talk. It's going to be very interesting. Got some really interesting subjects we can talk about. If you comment below if you think that the game, the social aspect is taking too much control of the game. It is getting better. And I appreciate you guys for watching, and keep hope alive.